What's going on, Hoodie fam? Or should I call you guys like Wizards Nation or some shit like that when I do these Wizards recap type of videos? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, bruh. Now, I know this is late as hell, and I mean like 2 weeks late, a week and a half, some shit like that. I think it's 2 weeks late at this point. But today I'm gonna be making a video. Obviously, y'all can tell from the title. We're gonna be grading the Summer League performances of all three of the Washington Wizards 2024 rookie draft picks. Now, I want to obviously make this statement with a grain of salt that these records are not finalizing who these players are. These records, not records, but these rankings or these letter grades do not tell you what to expect from either Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, or Kyshawn George. Honestly, these ratings are literally just a representation of what the hell we quite literally just witnessed at the beginning or in the middle of this month in the 2025. I think they called it the 2025 Summer League, right? Yeah, in the 2K25 NBA Summer League. Now, also, this is going to be my last Wizards recap style video up until either the Wizards say F it and trade a veteran, being like a Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, I guess at this point, like a Corey Kispert or anything like that, or even a Malcolm Brogdon. I doubt most of these trades happen before the actual season takes place, but it is what it is. Or come time we get opening day roster, and then I basically just drop my 2024-2025 season expectations for the Washington Wizards. One of those two videos will probably be the next time you guys do get a Wizards recap from me. Outside of that, we're going to just be getting into today's video. Now, obviously, we're going to address the elephant in the room. Alex Sarr, the number 2 overall pick. Oh boy. Well, actually, before we even address the elephant in the room with Alex Sarr, let me just give out immense, and I mean immense, amounts of respect to all of the G League guys, the Capital City Go-Go guys that came into Summer League and hooped, because I wasn't necessarily familiar with their game, but it was actually quite pleasant to watch them play, because aside from John Butler Jr., everyone had the game. The end of the last game we played, it was the Taylor Funk game. The first game we played, it was the Justin Champagnie game. The second game was another Champagnie game. I believe game 3, if I'm not mistaken, was the Jules Bernard game, or that was also a Champagnie game. And then the fourth one, vice versa with the Jules Bernard or the Champagnie game. I earned a lot of respect for these Capital City Go-Go guys, and now I'm contemplating watching some Capital City Go-Go play once the season starts. If that happens, I will definitely fill you guys in, but no promises on that front. So unless Kyshawn George goes down and plays with the Capital City Go-Go, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if we'll be watching that. Either way, we're going to be grading these guys. So like I said, addressing the elephant in the room, Alex Sarr. Shockingly, with the way that the first 3 picks in the draft looked in Summer League, if we were to just solely go off of what we saw at Summer League, one, we would still have probably Alex Sarr, I would probably say, but Reed Sheppard should have been the number 1 draft pick as of right now, because Reed Sheppard, he looked phenomenal. Alex Sarr, while he demonstrated to us the one thing that everyone was expecting to see, which was the defensive potential, his impact around the rim, the way that he can alter shots, the way that he could force teams to play a certain way with him just being on the court. We saw that. We saw his shot blocking ability. We saw his switch ability, albeit sometimes it was really messy. Alex Sarr looked pretty solid on the defensive end, and there is a lot of hope on that side. However, the offensive end left a lot to be desired, and I'm pretty sure everybody remembers the infamous 0 for 15 game. And man, even the people who don't pay attention to Summer League heard about the number 2 pick going 0 for 15 in a Summer League game against guys that are quite literally just trying to get a job. Absolutely insane. But as far as stats are concerned, Alex Sarr, he also didn't really play too well. He averaged a measly 5.5 points, 7.8 rebounds, and then 2.5 blocks per game. I mean, he showed us a few things, but it's like at the same time, I'm kind of hesitant when it comes to the whole Alex Sarr stuff right now. So as far as the grade that I'm going to be giving him, I feel like it's kind of indecent for all of the people that have given Alex Sarr a F, but I'll give him as close to an F as I possibly can. So, or not F, but let's say E. I'm going to give him a D- because while we saw the defense is great. Obviously, that's the thing that we primarily drafted him for. The offense looks more than just rocky. The offense looks like, oh, this might take a good amount of years to develop, because it was really bad. He looked like he lacked assertiveness on the court. He looked like in a lot of instances he lacked a motor if the play wasn't already there for him. Like in some moments offensively, he seemed like he was comfortable with certain things, but at the same time he also, let's say after that 0-15 game, because after that game I believe he came out the next following game, he had 2 points and he shot the ball 6 times if I'm not mistaken in the game right after the 0-15 game. The one thing that I was happy about with the 0-15 game is that he looked confident when he was shooting the ball. I was frustrated that he was taking so many threes. I was frustrated that he refused to take a shot like right at the basket, a simple layup type of thing. But at the very least he looked confident. And for him to lose his confidence in a summer league game, it makes me fear what it's going to be like once we get to the actual season, when these games matter a lot more than these summer league games, because at the end of the day this is your first actual season. So I'm kind of scared if he's going to have a lack of confidence going into the year. But then at the same time, I think he's honestly around 2 solid vets that could really help him out, whether that be if he decides to go the center route, which I personally want him to, which would be, I guess you could say, working beneath Jonas Valanciunas, so he could figure out essentially the post game, the how to use your body the right way, bulking up a little bit, because obviously if he does end up playing the center, that's going to be something that he's going to have to do. Or even if he manages to go the Kyle Kuzma route and he works on the handle a little bit, because he showed he has there's something there as far as a handle, far from a good one, but there is something there, air quotes on that something statement. But I think he has 2 solid vets that he could sit behind, think about how does he want to approach the NBA, and work on improving the already existing defense while taking baby steps as far as the offensive end. I feel like even if the shots really aren't falling for him, I think as long as he keeps his foot on the gas and stays aggressive, at some point the shots are going to fall, right? Wemby started the season off slow last year. He ended up ending the season averaging 21 points. So bear with Alex Sarr, but I do think a fair grade for him is a D-, because at the very least we saw what we wanted to see as far as defense. No one ever thought he was going to be straight on the offensive end off rip. I don't know why people are overreacting on that front, so we're just going to go with that grade. I believe it's fair. Bub Carrington, probably probably the highlight of Summer League, because I don't think anyone outside of obviously either Pittsburgh fans or Bub Carrington fans or people that highly follow the draft expect the number 14 pick to come out and play like he should have been a top 5 pick. Second team all Summer League, which was great to see from a Wizards player, because I don't recall the last time I saw a Wizards player get any type of acknowledgement when it comes to the Summer League. Bub Carrington came out and he looked really comfortable. Like, he looked extremely comfortable. He was great facilitating for the team. He was a great scoring focal point, whether it had been catch and shoot type of shots, whether it be coming off the pick and roll and taking confident shots, whether it be just creating space just off the dribble as a whole. He was a great rebounder as a 6'4" guard, which is amazing to see, because sometimes there are these guards that have the size but aren't necessarily on the glass the way that they probably should be. Bub Carrington just seemed like the total package. Not to mention that he was playing electric defense. That's the one thing I can say every single rookie that we drafted this year was doing. All 3 of them were playing phenomenal defense. But as far as Bub Carrington, stat-wise, the man's came out in 5 games, averaged 15.8 points, 7.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and a steal a night. Bub Carrington came out and he played phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. I don't think we could have really asked for much more when it came to Bub Carrington, because I know a lot of us Wizards fans were kind of concerned when we were like, oh yeah, this 𝙤𝙤 trade just went down and we're just getting back Malcolm Brogdon, this first round pick, a future pick, and that's it. Do we really want Malcolm Brogdon in a rebuild? Is this number 14 pick going to end up being something that's worth us trading 𝙤𝙤, who is on quite literally one of the best contracts, and I mean best contracts in the entirety of the league, for a player that quite literally just took a jump last season? Is it worth it? If Bub Carrington's Summer League performance is anything, and I mean anything, even like relative to what his first season in the league is going to be, and I'll take 75% of it, then we quite literally have a potential candidate for looking at a point guard the way that we looked at John Wall. And as me being a John Wall fan, that is a very, very harsh assumption to make. But Bub Carrington came into Summer League ready, and he showed exactly why he was ready, why he deserved to be drafted in the lottery, and why he honestly should have went higher than pick 14. Bub Carrington was freaking great for us. Not to mention, bro was 18. He turned 19 on the Sunday during the Summer League, but bro was quite literally 18. Quite literally, while he was out there doing that. Far more impressive than I thought he was. As far as grade wise, since I obviously probably should be giving these grades at the beginning before I start talking about them, Bub Carrington, I think without a doubt, gets an A+. Well, no, I think that's a little bit too biased because some people played much better as far as Summer League. I think Bub Carrington, I'd give him an A-. I don't want to give it too much bias because Bub played well, but there was a lot of people who also outperformed him. So I'll try to keep the bias a little bit down, just a little bit down. But Bub Carrington, I feel like he deserves an A-. So last but not least, we have Kyshawn George, who was extremely, I don't know if polarizing is the word, but Kyshawn George was without a doubt an interesting fact. Not interesting fact, but an interesting watch. So to start off, grade-wise, I'm going to give him a C+. We're going to just start it off. I want to give him a middle grade that is leaning more towards it looked good with Kyshawn George. Now, I'm going to say that as simply as I possibly can. Kyshawn George, one of the main things that I really pay a lot of attention to is that 𝙚𝙚 said this in their first game when we were watching it. He said that they don't really know exactly what they want to do with Kyshawn George. However, they feel like he could do a lot. And with him being potentially a project player, they think that they can essentially work him out and try to get him to do a bunch of different things because they don't know exactly what they want him to do just yet. And I think Kyshawn George, similar to Bub Carrington, albeit not on as grand of a stage or doing as good in the same front, he showed that there's, a little bit of everything outside of, like finishing. He didn't give us too much finishing, let's say too much finishing examples, but he showed that he could draw a foul and he can get to the line, which is a promising thing from a young guy. But he showed that there is somewhat of a handle there, albeit it's not necessarily as clean, but it is there. It's a little bit reckless. He has a lot of, let's say, dumb or boneheaded turnovers, but that's something that's bound to happen when it comes to young players. Kyshawn George also showed us that the 3-and-D potential is there. He had an absolute burner. He was one of, I can't even say this with pure accuracy because I don't know how everybody else was in the Summer League, but as far as a efficiency standpoint, Kyshawn George was 51% from the field, and he shot 47% from the three. 47% from the three? Kyshawn George was phenomenal. And he literally had some moments in those Summer League games where he was literally closing out games. Obviously, there was the one instance where he had the boneheaded play where he turned the ball over when it mattered just to come back down and get a block on the other end. That was great. Kyshawn George showed us a lot. He showed us the handle. He showed us the three ball. He showed us the defense, which is one of the main things that we needed to see from a player like this. He showed us the ability to create. Albeit he's not necessarily creating his own shots, but he's creating for others. He's making space. He's trying to make some of these passes. Some of them are getting there. Some of them are not. Timeout. Wait a minute. I didn't do Kyshawn George's stats. Hold on, bro. But, yeah, forgive me, Kyshawn George, if you ever, by some slim chance, ever see this video. But Kyshawn George, he averaged 9.4 points, 4 rebounds, and then 2 assists per game. Kyshawn George was a solid pickup, I would say. To get him at pick, 22? I think Kyshawn George performed probably as well as we could have really asked for him. He's going to be a project player. We don't necessarily know what's going to be there, but we at least saw flashes and we saw potential that could really be something. Overall, I think the Wizards Summer League as a whole, with them going 3-2, I think the Wizards Summer League as a whole was probably like a I would honestly probably say it was like a C plus because we had a team where we could have done so much better. I would have loved to see us be able to win Summer League championship. Obviously, you know, things don't happen. Reed Shepherd fucking killed us. He absolutely killed us, bro. Reed Shepherd was out there hooping. That's all I can say. Reed Shepherd was hooping during the summer. But I'm enjoying what we have in our 3 rookies. I think Alex Sarr is going to come out, have a very good season, and everyone is going to stop talking about this lack of offense thing. I think Bub Carrington is going to come out, probably have a lesser year than what he did in the Summer League, but he's going to play very well as a serviceable backup point guard, and then maybe he slides into the starting position later on down the season, or probably around trade deadline time, assuming, like, you know, Malcolm Brogdon ends up moving on or something like that. And Kyshawn George, he'll probably be up and down throughout the season, considering I don't really know if they have a thought process behind really how they want to use him just yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyshawn George spends the first few months, maybe first month or so of the season with the Capital City Go-Go, and then he has like moments where he comes up and, you know, plays with the actual Wizards team. So who knows, maybe we see him, maybe we don't until later on in the season. I'm pretty sure at some point we see Kyshawn George next season. But I think that's going to wrap up our grade. So overall, Alex Sarr receives a D-, Bub Carrington receives a A-, and then Kyshawn George is going to be receiving a C+. Man, I cannot wait till the start of the freaking season. If you enjoyed, make sure y'all go down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Wizards content as well as extra gaming content. We ain't gonna talk about the gaming content because, you know, gotta keep my Wizard stuff on here too, bro. But your boy Hoodie out, peace. I hope y'all enjoyed.